60 minutes was a really good experience, in my opinion. It was kind of traumatic, but I think it was necessary to get the point across of drinking and driving is like not good. So
for me it was really traumatic. Like, sorry, I don't like this already. Anyways, I was always like looking forward to like, oh my gosh, I get to like put this on and like influence people, and then it wasn't until like the day after we did the car crash simulation where we had to like do all the other things that made me like whoa, and then the cemetery was very like whoa, and then the day after I literally couldn't drive. I don't know if you guys could, but I literally couldn't drive my car. Like, it was like bad. But I think you said it good. It was necessary to like get the point across that like drinking and driving is just like not okay. So I really enjoyed being a part of it. I really enjoyed like getting to show people like what it'd be like if like someone like everyone knew like did die. So
for me, that was probably the most like heavy experience of my life. Walking through a morgue and seeing people in body bags is something that I never want to experience again. And I wouldn't say that I was like excited to be a part of it, but I was definitely so grateful that I am, and I think it's gonna have, well, I know it's gonna have like a forever impact on who I am as a person. And if there was a way, I wish that it was possible for everyone to have the experience that we did. And I'm so just grateful that I was chosen and that I got to experience it with who I got to experience it with. And I hope that the message got across as deeply as it did to us.
For me, it was really emotional and really impactful, especially listening to all the speakers, because this is a reality for a lot of people. Even if you aren't the one that's behind the wheel, you can be the one that hurts or takes someone's life. And that was probably the most emotional part for me, is knowing that like your actions really do matter, and like people got to experience the fact that like one of us could have been the people that passed, whether we were the ones drinking or not. And it's a lot, and I'm really grateful I got to be a part of it, because it really did change me. I will never get behind the wheel and drink and drive ever. And I hope everyone else that even just witnessed this will either, because it is real. And there are real consequences too, and that's not anything anyone should ever have to experience. So.
Well, I remember after one of my coworkers, you know Lauren? She called me, she was like, oh my god, you're alive. I thought you died.
people I got people snapping me like, oh my god, I thought you died. Like,
did you not read my post?
I had so many people being like, I thought you were in jail. I was like, okay. Alright.
Because I think it's really obvious that none of us like actually died, but people were reading stuff all the way.
Yeah.
Our cemetery was literally a piece of paper.
No, it was like people from other schools that
Okay, yeah, definitely.
And then, oh my gosh, so literally 2 days ago, I saw the girl that was in Every 50 Minutes at Granite Bay, like the lead at Handles, and she was like giving me looks, and I was like, maybe she like were the same, so I was like, oh my gosh, were you in Every 50 Minutes at Granite Bay? And she goes, yeah.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, like that was like, and she was like, yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what to say. You didn't do it.
Okay, friendly.
I was like, okay, I didn't really know what to do, and then she just like really was like, I was like,
You're no fun.
As like when it was starting, AJ and I were sitting in the car and we were like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cry right now. Like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if this is like gonna even seem real. Like, cause like I knew in my head it wasn't, but it looked real. Like the cars, everyone's makeup. But the minute that the tarps were taken off of the cars, it like hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like immediately started sobbing, and then I was like touching AJ, and I like had my hand on his leg, and you did your little thumb thing on my hand, and I was like, oh, bye, and started crying even more. It was like, and that's when it was like really real, and it was really hard, and it felt super like powerless being like the only one that was like me and jeez, I'm so bad with everyone's names. Me and Mason were like the only ones up, and he was like looking at me with like the most disgusted look on his face. Like, fair enough, but it was just really, I felt so powerless. Like, all this was something that I had caused, and I couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, that was like really, that was probably the hardest part of the whole simulation for me, was the actual crash simulation.
And to like go off that little bit, something all kind of funny a little bit is that like the day of was supposed to be like 70, 75, so I was like planning my outfit. I was like, okay, I'll wear my wife beater and my black shorts. And then the morning of, a fog bank rolled in, which is literally so coincidental, like that when we have had a fog bank do like roll in like that. And so I had to be out there, and I was shivering so bad. I think I was on the verge of tears. Like, I was out there laying and I was shivering, and I think the hardest part was like not doing any, like, I literally had to like do that, but that's just anyways. But then the actual hardest part was being in the hospital and having like my parents' tears like drip down like on my body, and I can't do anything about it, and hearing them like, and not just like I know it's fake, but when it was there's something that happens in your brain that it's like, this isn't fake. And same thing with my parents. It's like I was on the table, like I was dead, and like I couldn't do anything about it. And so now going back to when I was in the car crash scene, when I was with Sarah, I can sense Sarah, like, we're actors so we can do stuff, but I can sense like I couldn't be there for Sarah because I was literally dead. And so when Sarah put their hand down on my leg, I like run my hand on Sarah to like make sure like I'm okay, everything's okay, and that's where it got me. But I think the hardest part too is that, and then having to not be with my parents, not getting to contact my friends or family either was also really hard. I think that's
Something I wish that what was the question that we could like share with everyone? Right? Something I wish I could share with everyone is like, so you're leaving a party, whatever, you just have a drink and you're like, oh, well, I'm just driving myself home, it's no big deal. And kind of like rolling off what Baily had said earlier, Roy, it is a big deal, because yeah, you may hurt yourself, but you could also kill 3 other people, you could kill a family, you could do whatever. So your like little selfish act could ripple and affect an entire community, an entire world, and you'd have no, like, it's something that's fully in your control. But yeah, it's just a choice that I think it was a really informative thing that we were able to put on. And again, I'm so grateful that I was able to help share that knowledge and expand and hopefully help make Woodcreek a safer school and better community. So it was really hard for me. So AJ and Taryn, our best friend, she was having a really hard time with it. Or AJ and Tara, I'm Tara. But she was talking to me about AJ and how it was really hard to like be text, like not be able to talk to you, and she made me promise her that I wasn't gonna die. And obviously I couldn't tell her because that would have like ruined the whole point. So later that period, like 45 minutes later, that's when I had left class. That's when the rose was placed at my feet, and it was so hard to like look at my best friend and know that I had like lied to her face. But another thing that was really hard, I don't know with you guys, but we had back at our hotel, it was an emotional roller coaster because we're missing our families, we're wanting to talk to our friends, we're wanting to reassure everyone that everything's okay, and then we're running down the halls laughing because we're all still friends. Then we're going back to the thing and we're crying and we're sobbing and we're talking about whatever, and then we go and we're 16, 17, 18, we're all teenagers, so we're still having a good time. But the emotional roller coaster was
that was.
Gosh, I don't think I've ever been so mood swingy in my
Miss K,
life.
shout out to Miss K.
Shout out
Miss K.
Miss K, gorgeous sing. Oh my god.
Love that woman.
She's so amazing.
So for me, as part of the Walking Dead, I got pulled out of my Dance 1 class, which I think was really good because it's a lot of freshmen and there are some sophomores, and we're all juniors and seniors, and so that way they got to kind of experience it, even though they weren't at the rally. So I think that was really good. But since I did get pulled out in my very first period, I kind of like a front row seat to the whole crash and everything, and I didn't really think it was going to be like emotional or anything because I wasn't a part of the crash. I was just kind of watching, and I was like, oh, it's fine. And the part that really got me was when Drake's mom came out to check on him, and I lost it because like she wasn't acting like at all. It was literally as if she had lost her son, and that was the part that definitely got me. And because we were kind of supposed to go get Drake, and he was supposed to like join us, and like as the Walking Dead, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, and my friends are like trying to come up to me and like ask me questions, and like I can't even like look at them, talk to them, and it's like I want to talk to my friends because like I talk to them every day, and they have no idea what's going on because I didn't tell them, and so I just kind of have to pretend like they're not there, even though like those are the people I want to talk to most about this whole experience. And it was really hard not like. It was great that we all had each other for the whole situation, but it's like you also want to talk to like your support system outside of it too, because it was so emotional, and I have never been so emotional in my life, like so happy and then sad and then laughing and crying. It was a lot, but I think the group of people we did it with definitely made the experience like really, really good, and yeah, I'm glad I did it. So yeah, can I add? So Drake, he's one of my best friends. He was the guy who died on scene in the crash. And I mean, if we're going back to the whole what we're supposed to learn thing, I was sitting at the funeral, sitting next to Drake, holding his hand, sobbing over him being dead while he's very much alive. And it was so crazy that like your best friend could be taken from you because of somebody else. And I think it really, not that I would ever drink and drive in the first place, but now I like for surely won't, and hopefully that message got pushed out to everyone too.
I think that a lot of people were angry with the way that we did it, which I get because it was incredibly traumatizing as someone that was part of it. But I think that something like this has to be kind of thrown at you a little bit in the face, because it is very real and you can't prepare for something like that. And I think that was the point of not letting anyone know until the morning of. And I think that way, honestly, it brings the most, like it has the heaviest impact, even though it could have been, it was really traumatizing. I think that like made the whole experience a lot better. Yeah.
Like Sarah said, like life isn't all like sunshine and rainbows. So like this stuff like this happens all the time, and like just because we're young doesn't mean like we don't get to experience it and stuff. Which like it can happen any time at any point in someone's life. So I think this is it's a really neat program. How this like not everyone gets this, and so like they said in the program, this is more it's like a reward. Because if you experience this again, you're not going to get those people back. But this time, you got to experience what it would be like if something like this happened, and you got the people back the next day, which is really cool. But I just think this was also a really beneficial program because it shows students who have drunken and drove. Wait, why? People that drink and drive. Like it's not okay. Like if you have one what I call it, and then you get behind the wheel and just like, oh, like it's worn off. I've waited 3 hours. That's not how it works. Because you can still, this might not be your fault when you're driving, but you can still get in a car crash and get a DUI, and it's still very crucial to know like the consequences of your actions. So,
rolling off what Sarah had said, I think that it was so important to have this program as a surprise because it was supposed to make you angry. It was supposed to make you sad. It was supposed to make you cry. Because of like what AJ said, in real life, if somebody gets in a car accident and they die, you're not going to get to hug them again. And at this point now it shows you like, oh, your friend died. You didn't get to text them like, I'm sorry. That's what happened. That's the end of it. But with this program, it gives you the opportunity happened and then still give them that big hug and hopefully teach you that like you don't want to experience that in your life, because like AJ said, you really won't get to hug them again. It'll be your last moment.
This program is something that I think is really good that everyone got to experience. It would be better if if everyone could do what we did, but like obviously no one like can do all of that. But I feel like the rally was really like, it was a lot of emotions, and I think that's what the school needed, is because everyone thinks that like, oh yeah, like I know these things happen, but you don't think it'll happen to you, because I mean, no one ever thinks something will happen to them until it does. And I think this was definitely a wake-up call to a lot of people that this is reality, and you can be one of the people that does this, or you can be a victim of it. Like, it is real, and you don't want to be the person that hurts other people. Like, even if it's just an injury, like, it's still something, or it could be obviously more traumatic than that, because it doesn't just affect that one person, but it also affects their family and everyone that knows them. So it's not just about that one person you hurt, but it's about everyone. And it's not something that, it's not worth it. You have so many moments up until that point where you put your keys in the car, and you can think about it as many times as you want, but the answer should be no. Like, you should not be getting in the car. And just really don't do it, because it's not worth it for you or anybody else. So,
I'm adding one more thing. I had talked to the officer when we were at the hotel, and I said, it's because they've been doing this thing for years, this program, and I said, is the statistic really like every 15 minutes, is it working? And he said that it's changing and the program is growing and it's having impact, because now in the statistic is 4 teenagers every 15 minutes, right? Is it teenagers?
It's like 45. It was like every
But it's every, yeah, it's growing to 30, which I mean still every 30 minutes, that's terrible, but it's so much better than what it was. So I think this program is really making a difference in teenagers' lives.
For me, my sister was the driver in the 2018, every 15 minutes, and I saw the impact that it had on her and her friends, and like, because I knew a lot of her friends at the time, so like seeing them like come over when Megan was when she was gone, and like come over and like we were like consoling each other, and I wanted to see like what she experienced, and it like really changed her for the better, and like all of her friends, and I just wanted that same type of experience.
Yeah, the reason I did it is because a lot of people take people for granted, and so I think a big thing for me is that like I wanted to show people that like like I just want to like show people like I could be taken at any moment. Sarah could be taken at any moment. Like this can be a thing that happens all the time. Oh, why am I quadrupling my words? I have this like edited out. Can you go? I need to think about my wording choice.
I think what he's trying to say is he's using himself as an example.
Yeah.
That yes, it could happen to him, but it could also happen to Ryan, or it could happen to anybody else sitting in this room, or it could be whoever's watching this. It could be you. Don't make the mistake that happens all too often. Don't take us as your example, so it doesn't happen to you.
For me, like, I knew when, like, I set up what I was getting myself into, but at the same time, I really didn't know. Like, part of, like, the reason why I did is, like, oh, like, I'll know Tara, like, I'll know someone, and it'll be experience. Like, this isn't something that, like, everyone gets to do, and the officer is, like, actually my neighbor, and so it's, like, if I had any questions or concerns, like, I knew I could come to him throughout the whole process, and I knew it was going to be, like, emotional, but I wasn't sure, like, how serious the school or anyone would really take it, and I wanted to make it something that was serious, because it's not about it to be taken lightly, and I'm really glad I decided to do it, because it honestly changed me. I don't think I would have drank and drove in the first place, but now I know I for sure will, so I'm glad I did it.
Bringing back all the trauma. I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, the Starbucks
like
one.
panicking.
The Starbucks rush. And we're all just laughing. It's a field trip.
Where are you going? Oh, to
We're
our
like
own
our
funeral.
They were very confused. The no phones thing was so nice. Can we unpack that?
Yeah.
No, it was very nice.
Oh my god, this is something funny. BTS. So basically at the hotel we didn't have our phones, right? But we had the hotel phones.
Oh my god.
So we would be calling each other's rooms, and then there was a couple rooms that didn't know how to use the phone, and so they would call the front desk to give us to like transfer us to the other line. So the front desk was getting all these calls, and all you had to do was just press the room number and it would call the room number. But that was our source of communication. If you guys didn't know, we had
We're all meeting in
notes.
room 402. Will you be there?
That
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, we couldn't contact anyone outside, but we only contacted the rooms. And I
people
think
in
that was so. I remember that forever.
That was
so
so
funny.
funny. Well, and like going back to no phones on the bus. Where's this cemetery in Newcastle?
Yeah.
So that was like a 30-minute drive, right? And none of us had our phones, so we were all like talking. Like there was not a moment where it was like awkward, like TikTok, silent scroll kind of thing.
I slept on the way back. I had a Billy
We
concert.
both did.
Yeah,
We both did.
I had a concert the day before, and then I had to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning that day. Ooh, I slept so good on that bus. On the way back.
But
I did wake up crying. I did wake up crying.
you woke up
I did wake up crying.
on the bus.
Yes. I was on my thing, and I look up, and Sarah's like,
Oh no.
it was up to the cemetery.
Oh no.
But
I don't know how you're gonna like sleep through that. We were like sticking our heads out the windows and stuff.
There were cars like trucks are doing the
I still have Molly. Oh my god, that was a shout out to the Manning family.
Oh yes.
For Sarah and I, we created this group. It's Sarah, me, Lily, Alex, Ellie, and we like had this group, and then we went to Santa Cruz over. It was just a random. It was a spring break.
It might have just been a
Random thing, but
Random
like
thing.
that's our group. We're called the Breakfast Club, and it's just like the way that like, because we're all from different like.
It's just a weird.
Pods.
It's not a weird mix of people, but it's just people that you wouldn't expect. And
And we have the best time, and we had the like. I love that group so much. We're planning another one soon, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we did get to connect with that, and then